Hello everyone and now welcome to a game, Romantic versus Lin. This game taking place here on Tide Hunters 1.2. Romantic spawning under the name After All as the blue human on the top left hand side of the map. Meanwhile, Lin spawning as the yellow, or let's go ahead and fix those colors, yellow orc on the bottom right. Classic human versus orc matchup going back to WarCraft the original, and let's see what is in store today. Lin opening things up with an Altar of Storms and a burrow. Don't see a war mill. Nope, there's that war mill now. So it looks like it will be Farseer Headhunters to start off from Lin. Meanwhile, off to the north, we are looking at Romantic opening up things with an Archmage and a Footman. Really no deviation there at all. I'm going to go ahead and slow things down back to the normal speed as the game, is getting started. Godsmile, yes, good to be back. Hoping that a little bit of time off. Yesterday was Memorial Day for all of you guys outside of the States. Hopefully a little bit of time off would do me a little bit of good to rest up. And, parenting duties just kind of drained me over the weekend. Anyways, let's go ahead and jump right into this game here. Farseer going to go ahead and clear out this giant sea turtle creep camp pretty easily, but with only a Farseer and a couple of Spirit Wolves, can't really take on the more difficult green creep camps, let alone a yellow. Coming back around the Farseer, is it going to try and go after this snapper, or did it pick up an item? Picked up a Circlet of Nobility, so still a popular item to purchase from the shop as the Archmage gets up to level 2. Archmage level 2, Claws of Attack +4, and it looks as though the Water Elemental will get cleaned up here. A little bit of snare cast from those Murlocs, giving a bit of slow to those Footmen. Meanwhile, Archmage trying to get a little bit of distance away from those Spirit Wolves as the Farseer doing its best to, scoot and shoot, so to speak, being able to get that bit of damage onto the Footmen. All right, coming back around the Footmen, are they going to try and clear up the remainder of that creep camp? No, they are not. Farseer still running away from that Spirit Wolf off to the side, so one Spirit Wolf keeping the Archmage at bay. And meanwhile, the Footmen still trying to retreat back. Alright, this is buying time for both sides to build up a little bit of tech. You can see that Romantic did in fact tech to tier 2, and this is an indication to Lin that we are not looking for some sort of fast expansion. Wolves should be coming to an end here in just a moment, and with that, the Farseer is still sitting at level 1 and slowly building up this Headhunter count. Headhunters have 350 hit points out of the gate, and a little bit of a glass cannon. I don't believe we have defend researched as of yet, as lumber may be a bit of a problem. 2 videos today, I hope. I am hoping that as well. Coming back around, back to the bottom side, Archmage going to go ahead and double back around again. Doesn't have those boots of speed, and now going straight after that Farseer, but Lin doing a great job just blocking and pathing again. The Archmage is taking a little bit of superficial damage, as we could be looking at a couple more, spear javelin throws in the back. Much love. Thank you. Coming back through as we transition into Rifleman by Romantic. Farseer really wants to get to level 2 and will get there. Double Cloak of Shadows now, as this Water Elemental, is he going to try and shut down or Timed Life going to be enough right there? Yeah, Timed Life more than enough to clean things up once more. All right. I am surprised that Lin is going into these Headhunters ever since the patch where their hit points were dropped by 25 for both Headhunters and Berserkers. They have not really been that popular. Very much glass cannons, 350 hit points, and as the game gets further on, you know that those spells from the Archmage, Mountain King, the Blizzard gets stronger, deals more damage much more quickly, and those AoE spells really just eat up those Headhunters later on. Footman trying to retreat back here. Archmage still sitting at level 2 this entire time. Hasn't been able to do very much, as Lin really just taking his chances and putting pressure onto Romantic to prevent him from playing his game. Farseer has now taken the overall experience lead as the Nightcrawlers now racking up damage against all of these headhunters. Alright, this is going to be a bit of poison damage over time. You're going to see a lot of low hit point headhunters because of this as the health stone is now dropped down. Meanwhile, Archmage going to come back around and finally spot out this. No, doesn't spot this because, well, I guess he finally does spot this here. Scroll of Town Portal will be needed. One headhunter could end up getting taken down. It does end up getting taken down. I think it was by creeps, as barely any, well, creeps are left here. Archmage was thinking about dropping a water elemental to perhaps clear up an easy creep camp, as the Mountain King is now out here on the battlefield. Farseer of Lin, very close to level 3. He did end up using that Scroll of Town Portal in order to save himself out of a dangerous spot. Very, well, very good game sense there to know that he needed to do that pretty much immediately. Otherwise, that damage would have just been much more difficult to overcome. He saved, well, he saved his Farseer, and eventually he would have needed to burn the Scroll of Town Portal anyway. So rather than hold on to it and hoping that the Tauren Chieftain's Endurance Aura would be enough, just used it to minimize those losses. Do I want too much Warcraft 3 if I had a dream where you were casting with Back to Warcraft and was using bad language? I don't know if I would ever use bad, quote unquote, bad language. I don't know. The only people who get to hear me use bad language and are privileged enough to hear me use bad language are my children, and they will say I use bad language. Anyways, coming back around here, Giant Sea Turtle going to get cleaned up. Mountain King is going for that Thunderclap. He wants to get in the midst of all of those headhunters, lay down a couple of claps, and that perhaps even have the Archmage Blizzard be able to finish things off. Mountain King heading back off to the north here. Archmage sitting in the center portion of the map, not quite sure what he has in store or plan. Picking up a Scroll of Healing, and now may end up, well, taking a little bit of damage back. You were roasting Blizzard pretty hard. Well, what? Metaphysics. I think you are just want to roast Blizzard really hard based off what's happening recently. Anyways, coming back into this game here, Mountain King is the one with level 2 Thunderclap this time around. He is holding up a Ring of Protect or Ring of Regeneration. Could get transferred to that Mountain King or to that Archmage who's currently low on hit points, but does have a Potion of Lesser Invulnerability for a bit of safety. Archmage going to come back around here. I believe that Snapper is going to end up getting taken down. There's a Thunderclap. Did he get the experience? I believe he did. That Thunderclap getting a little bit right there, and now a Grunt going to get lost as well, giving level 3 to the Archmage. Level 3 Archmage is going to be level 2 Brilliance Aura or level 2 Water Elementals. That is the question here, as ensnares are going down. In comes a giant stomp there. Level 2 Brilliance Aura, as now Militia now coming back through. Mountain King needs a little bit more mana. There's a Lightning Shield, as the Tauren Chieftain could have a little bit of problems. There is a stomp right there. Dispel off of there. There's a Scroll of Healing to try and counteract a bit more, and that healed for over 1,000 hit points based on the multiple units. Meanwhile, Tauren Chieftain gonna go ahead and break free. A beautiful chain lightning, allowing destroying that peasant surround there, as the peasants will go back to their normal weakened selves. Both sides still fighting their way through. 41 supply compared to 47, and a beautiful fight by Lin here. Both sides getting back to level 3 on their heroes. Wand of Mana stealing some precious mana away from the Mountain King and stopping any, well, Stormbolts. The WarCraft Reforged or Overwatch 2. Deforged, much worse. Well, once we can get all of the features that were originally in the original game of Warcraft, right, then yeah, then Reforged will be better. But right now, it feels like we are still missing some important features. Archmage going to go ahead and use that Scroll of Town Portal. And this is a quick getaway here. And once again, very smart usage of the Scrolls of Town Portal in this matchup. Oftentimes, I've seen players just kind of overstay their welcome, and they know that they're in an uncomfortable spot, and they try to use that Scroll of Town Portal a little bit later. and in doing so ends up just taking much more damage in their fleeing army, giving their opponent a bit more experience. This time around, though, what are we going to be looking at? Mountain King is sitting at level 3, does have that Ring of Regeneration. Archmage, on the other hand, still keeping his distance a bit. That Brilliance Aura only affecting him right now, as he doesn't want to take any experience away from that Mountain King. Mountain King will be just shy of level 4. Level 2 Stormbolt would have been the big deal there. And, well, there goes that illusion. Did you see SC2 mod to play WarCraft? I've seen some SC2 or building WarCraft 3 in StarCraft 2, and yeah, I don't know. That just, well, I guess the downside of that is you wouldn't be actually be able to see classic graphics. As we're now coming back over here to the top left, if Blizzard had actually tried to go that route. Coming back around, Farseer going to try and Farseer trying to engage here on those militia, and things are not looking good at all for Romantic. Romantic in a bit of trouble, currently in low upkeep, so needing to fight off against these units here. Not many militia left here, as farms are now being destroyed as well. We could be upside down on supply. The expansion, however, is going to get destroyed here, so it is going to be one working base to another, as we are going into mass riflemen and casters. Rifle casters here with the Mountain King in that front line spot for those Thunderclaps and Stormbolts. Archmage has, well, with that level 2 Brilliance Aura, really just playing the support hero, as the Mountain King not close enough to the Archmage to get some Brilliance Aura. What is this Mountain King doing? Mountain King could end up getting too far. Wow, just at the edge there. Going to go ahead and try and engage. Peasant's going to go ahead and get back to work. 49 supply over 42. Does need to build up 2 additional farms to no longer be supply blocked, as the Archmage, Mountain King make their way down. Barely readable. No thanks. Yeah, no. StarCraft 2 graphics. Well, the graphics are, I don't know. I think I prefer StarCraft 2 graphics compared to the WarCraft 3 Reforged graphics. I think the tile set and the color set of WarCraft 3, the classic graphics, because it isn't trying to be photorealistic, it's almost like a game. It's like almost an artistic direction of what's being played here. Anyways, let's come back around. Slow now being cast onto that Grunt, trying to finish off a couple of units in transit. Mountain King may try to go for another Stormbolt, yeah, to finish off this Grunt here, and now buy himself time to, well, head back around. Meanwhile, there is that Scroll of Town Portal inbound, and here we are in position. This might be a big problem, though. There may only be 2 peasants left for Romantic. Romantic, with only 2 peasants left, needs to build up a couple of farms before he can do anything else. Perhaps train or just a couple of farms here before he can train up any additional peasants. He's going to be on 2 working peasants only for quite some time. Meanwhile, back down over here on the bottom right, Lin has pretty much been mining non-stop this whole entire game and now has 1,000 gold lead overall. Coming back through here, invisibility on the Mountain King. Archmage and that Mountain King, their best resource now is going to be, well, mana on these heroes. As you can take a look, Spirit Wolves looking to dive on into this position. All right, Slow perhaps going to get cast down here. Quick death right there, as the Farseer didn't have time to resummon up those units. 1 Water Elemental, well, I guess trying to watch what's happening through the bushes. Not going to be able to see up onto the high ground, as the Tauren Chieftain and Farseer both are already at level 4. Mountain King, Archmage now leading the charge. Mountain King currently is invisible, going to try to get into position here. There is some easy damage onto that Spirit Wolf, down to 119 hit points already, as the Mountain King heads back around. All right, Farseer and a Tauren Chieftain already heading back away. I believe, yeah, only the giant sea turtles are left here. Mountain King is still invisible, but, well, going to see that there is still a little bit of creeps there. All right, currently 2 peasants working, a 3rd one being trained up, with the 4th one on the way soon, as the invisible water elemental still keeping tabs on this Tauren Chieftain Farseer. All right, this has been some important play. These invisible summons, keeping track of the Orc army, incredibly important as we are looking at the Spirit Wolves. Perhaps going to try to dive on in here. Are we going to see some damage? Here we are. There's some militia to try and fight back against these units. All right, little bit of easy damage here. One Spirit Wolf going to get finished off. Another one going to get finished off as the Orc army now trying to rush on in. Archmage does not have a Scroll of Town Portal. We may see these peasants just running for their lives. Only 3 peasants left, and once those peasants are gone, well, you better believe that some farms are going to be destroyed, thereby supply blocking Romantic's efforts. All right, trying to retreat back away. A lot of units could end up getting taken down there. There goes one headhunter, level 4 now on the Archmage. Both sides going to try to fight their way through as the keep is now under siege. The siege damage from the raiders really racking up quite a bit as we see a Stormbolt go down onto a raider to stop that in its tracks. Lin is now sitting at 1,000 gold, just trying to build up a bigger economic advantage, and perhaps at some point going to burst into low upkeep or try to set up an expansion of his own. All right, Archmage trying to shoot down this Grunt down to 76 hit points. 3 more shots should do it. 1 more shot from that Archmage should do it. Now, nope. Natural regeneration shot in the back as it was running away. Well, that it has to be a horrible way to go. Does Orc got pillage? I believe so. The overlay system doesn't show me all of their upgrades, unfortunately. Now, coming back over here to the bottom right-hand side, we're looking at a couple of, Witch Doctor is trying to place down sentry wards, making sure that there are not any invisible summons inside of the base. Water Elemental holding steady at this 3 o'clock spot, wanting to make sure that there is nothing, no expansions being placed down here. Lin does have 6 supplies sitting off here at the 9 o'clock position that I don't believe he's aware of. That might become a bit of a problem. Water Elemental is going to easily spot this, and if he doesn't control it, either the Archmage is just going to get some additional, and the Mountain King going to get some additional free experience, or, well, it's just going to eat up into Lin's supply, not realizing that he's missing part of his army and some of the action here. All right, units now trying to make their way back around. Grunt going to go ahead and try and retreat back. We're going to see a Stormbolt. Yes, we are. Mountain King not going to really be able to do all that much here. Perhaps try and get in some easy shots. Perhaps cast a slow. Second Stormbolt should be inbound as well. There's that second Stormbolt. Slow going to be cast on that Mountain, or onto that Grunt. Grunt with what unit trying to retreat back here? Are we going to see a follow-up Stormbolt? Yes, the follow-up Stormbolt down to 2 hit points. One final shot there. Meanwhile, back off to the north, Tauren Chieftain Farseer sees that there is no expo at the 12 o'clock spot. Archmage just holding steady here, and Romantic, after all this time, able to, rebuild his economy just a little bit. Currently with 6 workers, but now extremely low on lumber. What is the Archmage Mountain King gonna look to follow do with this follow-up here? Water Elemental pretty much just walks into the Orc army here and easily gets taken down. Are we going to be looking at another expo attempt? It looks like that is the case. Plenty of gold, plenty of lumber. Could try to build a couple of watchtowers first, as we're looking at Lin now head over here to the top right. Doesn't want to get caught out in the open. All right, with the number of times that the Mountain King has pretty much surprised Lin doesn't feel comfortable clearing out this red creep camp to get to level 5. Mountain King going to quickly, try and stop this peon here, as we're looking at Lin trying to repeat the strategy again of just getting inside this base and, completely shutting down this economy. There's some chain lightning there, no shockwave, as it is still stopped. A quick Scroll of Town Portal to retreat, and there goes one single raider again. All right, raiders are just slowly getting taken down here. A little bit of economy trying to be rebuilt once more. We are down to only 6 peasants once more, with 3 peasants harvesting lumber. Without that tech to tier 3 with Fortress, we're not going to see a quick expansion with a tiny Great Hall off of that Voodoo Lounge. Lin, it doesn't feel confident in trying to close out this game, and it's giving, well, Romantic plenty of opportunities to get back. 51 supply army now compared to 44. Romantic only has 6 workers, and Lin currently with 7. Still curious overall as to how this is all going to unfold. All right. Sentry Ward there. Water Elemental just slowly making its rounds again. Is it just going to get purged down by a couple of Shaman here? There's one purge, another purge. Easy experience for that Farseer and Tauren Chieftain, as we are setting up a Great Hall down to the south. However, Romantic not going to allow this expansion to really take hold, as we are looking at the Mountain King perhaps going to try to land in a couple of early Thunderclaps. Water Elemental going to perhaps try to, well, at least cause a bit of blocking, as we're going to be getting into an engagement here. All right, there's a Thunderclap, perhaps a bit early. Chain Lightning, one Raider getting taken down, Sorceress getting taken down. There goes another Shaman there. So, well, a net 1 Raider for a Scroll of Town Portal for Romantic. All right, top left-hand side of the map again. No repairs underway onto that keep. That keep has been on fire the entire time and could easily get taken down, but protected by these farms to prevent those raiders from getting in that melee damage. All right, Great Hall under some, well, duress by this Water Elemental. Remember, why buildings are under construction, they do not get any of their armor. So this Water Elemental with that piercing damage is dealing full damage here. But with the loss of that, with the loss of that Water Elemental, the Tauren Chieftain and the Farseer have both gotten to level 5. Dual level 5 heroes by Lin. This is a huge advantage on top of the 69 supply advantage compared to 50 over 54. This Great Hall nearing completion here as Lin's army looks to hold this location once more. All right, with more farms being built now, only, well, this is really strange. It just feels odd to see only 6 workers by Romantic after all this time. We see a couple of invisible Shadow Wolves here, no Arcane Sentry to keep track of these units, and with that, these Shadow Wolves may be able to dive on in here and get some damage onto a couple of unsuspecting peasants. All right, with the loss of these peasants, well, things can go sideways economically speaking, as we see a couple of dispels go down onto that wolf there. All right. Great Hall nearing completion here. Perhaps we'll see a watchtower as well. Tauren Chieftain with level 3 stomp. Really going to try to put his foot down amongst all of these riflemen, allowing some follow-up damage by these grunts as well. Lin getting into 72 supply now. Perhaps going to be attacking with this larger army. And, well, Lin changing up his strategy overall. We can see one Spirit Wolf was actually close enough to get that Dust of Appearance. A second one not close enough there, as the Mountain King now looks to dive on over. All right, Arcane Sentries would have seemed like the smart call there. Arcane Sentry well, gives permanent reveal around your main base, and also allows you to, well, reveal with that Arcane Tower, but instead went for Dust of Appearance, as he wanted to be able to keep the production high off of this Arcane Sanctum. Main gold mine has been mined out by Lin. Lin sitting at 72 supply, should be able to engage here in just a moment. Mountain King right in that position, and next to a Sentry Ward, going to have some major problems. There's a big Thunderclap as he realized that he is quickly revealed. They're using that Potion of Lesser Invulnerability to try and break free. He's going to go ahead and just throws down a Stormbolt onto a Grunt. Grunt will get taken down here. Archmage still sitting at level 4 though, not giving that level 3 Brilliant Aura. Mountain King's Potion of Lesser Invulnerability will be coming to an end. He still has another Potion of Lesser Invulnerability there. Lays a Stormbolt down onto that Tauren Chieftain, as the Tauren Chieftain tries to get into position, but now with a bunch of traffic, unable to get the necessary damage. Mountain King down to 267 hit points, uses a Potion of Mana, Potion of Lesser Invulnerability perhaps on cooldown, and uses Invisibility to escape right there. Archmage now trying to retreat back here. Are we going to see a little bit more heals? Mountain King, well, unable to throw any Stormbolts, as he knows that he's going to be in trouble here. 50 supply compared to 66. Mountain King just slowly getting healed up as Chain Lightning is bouncing around. Mountain King actually getting hit off of that Chain Lightning. Stormbolt going down onto the Tauren Chieftain as the Mountain King is now currently revealed. Does have a Potion of Lesser Invulnerability. Is he going to be able to do any more follow-up? Mountain King could be in trouble, down to 228 hit points, trying to retreat back here. And, well, the Tauren Chieftain could be putting his foot down there. Tauren Chieftain now currently stunning down that Mountain King. 29 supply compared to 60, and Lin able to finally close out the game with the victory here. All right, big victory there as Lin did do quite a number on the economy of Romantic for a long time, but wasn't quite sure how to close out the game. Well, in the end, though, he was able to deal enough damage to Romantic in that fight by building the larger army. You can see the final army sizes 75 to 60 resource score. Lin just mining more gold than his opponent as well. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Hope you guys enjoyed it.